Welcome back. This is Si Wing Yi from the Yi Evolution Network, and today's topic I'm going to talk about the state of Florida housing market dated the most current October 2022. And before I begin my share the screen, Florida is the fastest growing state in the country, number one fastest, and the Florida is also number two in terms of population. Number one is California, and a few years ago, Florida have surpassed the state of New York as the second, the most populous state in the union. So over the years, Florida has been consistently growing because everybody knows about Florida. All the retirees are retiring in Florida, very affordable housing market, and it's a warm weather all year round. And so there's a lot of lot of job growth and a lot of population growth in Florida. Furthermore, as a real estate investor myself, I've been doing real estate investing for almost 30 years, and part of the thing that we do with my organization is that we help uh, mom and pop real estate investors, a lot of beginners actually, and a lot of newbies, and many experienced real estate investors to go from California, who live in California, which where I live, to buy out of state cash flow properties in the south and southeast over the years. And Florida is our number one destination. So to summarize, for the past 20 years or so, I have personally guided and consulted our out-of-state real estate investors to buy in the Florida market. So personally, I have bought and sold many single-family home investment properties over the years in Florida, and I'm continuing to buy. So I'm very optimistic and very bullish on Florida real estate, and hundreds of our investors have purchased over rental properties all over Florida over many years, mainly in Central Florida, in Orlando Metro, and also in Tampa, and also in Southwest Florida, Cape Coral, that surrounding growth area. So one area that we do not go into are South Florida, which is Miami, because those homes are extraordinary, very high price, very upscale. Wealthy individuals buy that market, including international buyers as well. So for today, we're just going to focus on a lot of things to cover. So I'm using the Florida Association of Realtor website to share with my data for Florida housing update. Uh, October is as far as they have gone so far. So even though right now I'm talking to you in the third week of November. Anyway, so let's without further ado, sorry for this long delay. Without further ado, let's go over the headline: Florida's housing October median prices, inventory rise, and Florida realtors single family median price up 12% year over year. And however, we all know inflation and higher interest rates has impacted sales. And I'm quoting the guy on this video. He is the Florida Realtors chief economist, Dr. Brad O'Connor, and I highlighted some of the important passages on this article, which he talked about. He said the beginning of 2022 marked the end of a nearly 2-year period of record low mortgage rates as the Fed began to reverse its course in order to fight pervasive inflation in the economy. And 2 paragraphs later, O'Connor added, the fact that monthly sales still remain in the neighborhood of pre-pandemic levels, despite today's significantly higher home prices and mortgage rates, only illustrates that despite these headwinds, housing demand in Florida continues to receive support from its recent surge in post-pandemic immigration, vacation home purchases, and the ever increasing number of millennials looking to find a home for their growing families. So essentially what he's saying, and which I can totally agree. So those four main drivers, okay, which makes Florida is just the top destination for so many people. Retirees been going there for years and years and years, and they will continue to flock to Florida because of the weather and the retirement quality of lifestyle. Then a few years ago, millennials are flocking into Florida, various areas, because of job growth and population growth and in the whole growth pattern. And now since the pandemic, there has been migration of people from the Northeast, from New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, tri-state area, Northeast. They are not only snowbirds come here for to buy vacation homes or vacation for a few months out of the year during the winter, but you have many investors from the Northeast, from the Midwest, and from a lot of my groups, a lot of my investors from California have purchased out-of-state cash flow properties in Florida all these years, and we will continue to do so. So migration of people moving to Florida due to low affordability and no state income tax for people that call Florida their state of residence, and still, even to this day, relatively low home affordability, although home prices have skyrocketed quite a bit in the last few years during the pandemic. So, all the reasons why Florida will continue to grow very, very, very fast, regardless of some slight headwinds. All right, so let's get back to this article. We got a lot more things to cover. And also, in October 2022, the statewide median sales price for single-family existing homes was a little bit more than 400,000, which is up 12% from the previous year. So clearly, look, everybody should know that real estate, there's no such thing as a national real estate market. Real estate is local. So Florida, unlike some other boom the bust market, especially in the West Coast and California area, has appreciated over the past year to the tune of 12%. So things are still surging in Florida, and we have not seen any drastic price reduction throughout the state of Florida like they do in other part of the U.S. All right. So also, Mr. Dr. O'Connor also said homes in Florida continue to go under contract quickly, though this time to contract is slightly increasing to the point where it takes 25 days to close a home, which is still historically quite low, even though compared to 12 days it takes to close same month last year during 2021 during the pandemic real estate boom, which is crazy. So things are slowed down a little bit because of the skyrocketing of the interest rate in the past 6 to 8 months that we have seen. So it's happening on Florida, really no different than the rest of the country. And finally, toward the back end of this article, before we'll segue into several other pages on this website, and this article concludes that the supply of single-family existing homes increased to 2.7 months supply. So think about this, 2.7 months supply. A balanced market is anywhere from 5 to 6 months, where there are equal amount of supply of homes versus demand. Whenever you have anything less than 5 to 6 months supply of inventory of homes, that means we have a extremely a seller's market. And so therefore, historically, home prices will increase whenever there are less than 5 months of supply of inventory. And this case in Florida, I mean, this low supply of inventory, like I said before, is 2.7%. That tells me 2.7% today's supply inventory in Florida is, I could almost say, is almost record low. The record low is a little bit less than 2 months supply, which is occur a year ago, a year and a half ago, that caused the pandemic real estate massive skyrocketing real estate boom. So still a very much seller's market. Over Florida, 2.7 is extremely low inventory. And this is a Florida is a extremely healthy market. So let's segue to let's talk briefly about investor home purchases. As you may not know, the investor home purchases has been consistently been very consistent over the years, very consistent. And I'm so sorry, I have to share this again. I have to share the screen once again. The screen went bad on me. So, all right, here we go. All right, investor home purchases for many years has been very at the top of the list for many investors, especially from overseas investors. So, especially in South Florida, Miami market, where international investors has just continually been buying homes, many with all cash purchases. So let's go over what's going on with the not just investors. We're talking Wall Street and the institutions and the corporate and the Wall Street hedge funds are coming into Florida and many other Sunbelt markets to buy up all the investment homes to rent it out to renters. So let's go over what's going on. Although this correction of the market with the high interest rate that we're seeing has caused the U.S. investor market nationwide to fall 30% year over year from third quarter of 2021. So investors from all types, we're talking mom and pop investors, they have decreased their investment in the Florida market, and also overseas international buyers and Wall Street as well. So again, we all know why. It's simply the largest decline. Of course, given the sudden rise of the interest rate, as we have been very much painfully aware of. So furthermore, this article states that as a share of all home buyers, investors' numbers dropped 2 quarters in a row, and investors have bought 65,000 homes in the Florida metros, as tracked by Redfin in the third quarter of 2022. So investors have, of all the homes that are purchased nationwide, 17.5% of all homes were purchased by investors of all types. We almost 1 out of 5 homes that are purchased this past year, 2022, were for rental property investment homes. So that was down from the previous year, down 19% from previous year, and 18.2% year over year earlier. So that's pretty understandable. So the typical home that investors bought cost around $451,000, up 6.4% from a year earlier, but down 4.3% from 1 quarter earlier. So it is unlikely that investors will return to the market in a big way anytime soon, said Redfin senior economist Shahryar Bakhari. Home prices would need to fall significantly for that to happen. So investors has pulled back, just like primary home buyers throughout the country these past 9 months, due to the sudden Federal Reserve raising the interest rate to right now 6.63% on a 30-year fixed rate mortgage, from earlier this year around 3.5%. So they have some pullback. So how is that affecting Florida investors? So Florida investors, the study found the third quarter of 2022, the highest market share of investors were in Jacksonville, in which almost around one third of all homes that were purchased in Jacksonville, Florida, this past 2022 were purchased by investors, followed by Miami, which is 29%, Orlando ranked number 5th in the nation at 26%, Atlanta 27%, and Las Vegas 27%. That tells you that among the 5 metros that have the highest percentage of investment home buying homes. 4 of them are in Florida, and 1 is in Las Vegas. That goes to tell you, Florida has consistently over the years and continually to this day have more concentration of real estate investors buying homes to rent them out than any other states in the country. So to me, that's not surprising because in the market as an investor, that's what we do. That's what we help our investors to buy cash flow homes at the most affordable markets throughout Florida. Okay, all right. So let's continue. What else I need to say? So even though that's the case, but there are fewer investors that are buying lately because of the higher interest rate, although there were a lot of cash buyers as well. All right, let me see. And let's go over this article down here. Metros with the largest decline in investor purchases in quarter 3, 2022. Phoenix, Portland, Vegas, Sacramento, Atlanta, Charlotte, Miami, San Diego, and Riverside. As you can see, most of these areas are in the Sun Belt, right? So largest decline in investor purchases. Not surprising, again, based on the correction that's going on nationwide, based on the Federal Reserve raising interest rate, and then the Fed were trying to try to stop inflation from spreading. So this is a temporary situation. So again, no surprise. All right. So the next module I'm going to discuss is, let me see here. Okay, let's discuss the monthly market summary, latest October 22 with the Florida Association of Realtors. Let's talk about single family home Florida. Let's see what's going on year over year from October 2021 to October 2022. Let's see what are some of the trends that was happening. So the total closed sales in the entire state of Florida in October 2021 is around a little bit more than 27,000. However, a year later, as of October 22, year over year, closed sales transaction in this entire state of Florida is a little bit more than 20,000. So that's a decrease of around almost 25% of closed sales year over year from 2021 to 2022. And let me see what else. There's, as always, there's a lot of cash buyers. In this year, 2022, up until October, there were almost 6,000 cash buyers buying homes in Florida. We're talking, again, around 20% of all the home purchase of investors, not investors, anybody paying no cash. So it's down almost down 28.4% year over year from 2021. Median sales price last year, 2021 October, median sales price in Florida, $358K. And today, a year later, October 2022, 401,000. So there's an increase of 12% appreciation year over year in this entire state of Florida. Okay, and let me see what other things that sticks out to me. Now, of course, 2021, we all know we're seeing pandemic boom all over the country, especially in the trophy markets like Florida. So it only took, because of the bidding war and multiple offers going on back in 2021, the median time to contract a home is only 12 days. I mean, you have no idea the frenzy was going on last year because of the lack of supply of homes and the mortgage rate is around 3%. So that's why you're seeing some historical numbers last year, 2021. So, however, fast forward to October of this year, 2022, the median time to contract a home is back to 25 days, which is still pretty historically low. We're talking in the pre-pandemic, the median time to contract a home is usually around more than 30 days. So even with the slowdown, 25 days it takes to close a sale of a home this year. are pretty good, pretty positive, right? But nevertheless, if we look at the percentage, is 108% higher percent change over a year in terms of the days to close. Let me see what else. Pending sales. Here's another, because of the rising interest rate and the lower people cannot afford to buy homes anymore. So it's affecting the housing transactions in Florida similarly to other part of the country. So last year, 2021 October, there were like around 30,000 pending sales, whereas a year later, this October 2021, there were only a little bit more than 17,000 pending sales, which is a reduction of 41% reduction of pending sales year over year from October 2021 to October 2022. Similar with new listings. Last year, new listings were around 31,000, and this year 25,000, as a reduction of 18%. So here's the most important thing metric that you can take away from this particular screenshot is that during the frenzy of the 2021, with the multiple offers and bidding war and a pandemic boom, skyrocketing home prices, interest rate of 3 to 3.5% during 2021. Look at this. This is insane. This is eye-opening. Like month supply of inventory last year, October 2021 is 1 point what? I can't see that. Yeah, 1.3%. This is a record low inventory of supply. So that's why we're seeing so many homes that are so way above asking in Florida. Not just Florida, but all over the country, really. But 1.3% is just a massively record low supply inventory back in 2021. And now, even at October 22, we are still seeing a very, very extremely low supply inventory. I wouldn't say record breaking, but it could be record breaking as we move into first and second quarter 2023, if the interest rate remain high at 6 to 7%. If that's the case, then we could continue to have extremely low inventory. So as you know, economics 101, right? If demand is higher than supply, home prices will increase. The demand is not that high right now because of the elevated interest rate. But in my judgment, if the interest rate gets lower just slightly for next year, we can see more demand. But then the supply inventory, and right now here in Florida, 2.7. That is very, very low, relatively speaking. Okay, so let's go over the closed sales. As you can see, the closed sale here, done back end of this year, 2022, is extremely low, very low transactions right here, and which is equal to pre-pandemic. Pre-pandemic, as you can see, back in 2019, there were like 30,000 homes closed sales, like 2019. Look at here at the 2022, the fourth quarter of this year, 2022, we have only like 20,000. So 10,000 homes less closed sales the fourth quarter 2022 compared to pre-pandemic in 2019 and even 2020. All right, so we have to watch the trend, what's going on. Medium sales price, we're seeing some tremendous elevation. The medium sales price back in earlier, a few years ago, medium sales price in Florida is only like a mid 250. Look at now, it's like 400,000. So the last few years of the pandemic we have seen in Florida, just like many other part of the country, some elevated high of home prices gain. So inventory level, again, pre-pandemic inventory level is at a very, very around here, 100,000 on a month-to-month basis. But then during the pandemic boom, we're seeing some extremely low inventory, as you can see right here, all the way down the bottom. Then the increasing inventory at this time, increasing inventory the past 8 months, is based on the demand having subsided because of the higher interest rate. So not necessarily many more homes are coming into the market. It's just that we have less demand to buy the available homes that are coming into the market in the past 6 to 9 months. Does that make sense? Now let's go over monthly distressed market dated the latest date, October 2022, with single family homes. Now, some of you are thinking, oh, what about stress sales? What about foreclosures? What about short sales? Again, 2022, the conditions are way different than the housing crash of 2008. So let me give you a quick explanation. Uh, uh, the traditional sales of regular homes are being sold. Again, last year we talked about this. Data October 2021 is a little bit over 27,000, but year to date, October 22, the closed sales is a little bit over 20,000. Oh, yeah, it's 24% less closed sales year over year. And the median price, as you can see, 359 last year, 400,000 year over year, October 2022, which is a good appreciation rate of 12% throughout the entire state of Florida. Look at the foreclosure REO, real estate owned foreclosure and short sale. Kind of similar. Short sales are, homes are sold with the balance of the loan is higher than the market value. But look at the foreclosures. 82 homes are listed for foreclosure. If I calculate the math, 82 homes are being foreclosed upon this past year, compared to traditional of 20,000 homes. I'm saying it's way less than 1% of our homes are being foreclosed. So that tells me, if you ask me like, what is the foreclosure market in Florida? Well, it's slim to none. It's not even relevant to talk about. It's not a mainstream media to talk about. Really, very. So because the homes have appreciated so much, not only in Florida, but in many different part of the country as well. All right, so and then I think we have one more. Yep, and I'm about to conclude to talk about the big summary of the Florida market. We could go over different cities throughout Florida in terms of what's going on with the different metros in Florida. So far things are looking fairly healthy under the circumstances. We talk of recession, there's talk about correction, some people talk about crash. Clearly there's no housing crash in horizon, especially here in Florida, based on the data I just shared with you. If you disagree with me, I don't know, let's have a debate. You're going to be wrong, but okay, let's get back to the last screen I'm going to talk about per the Florida Association Realtor. And the title is Single Family Homes Market Sales Activity Year Over Year, October 22 from October 2021. And we can talk about different cities in Florida, right? So even though we talk about high level on Florida, but you have to break down to the local areas in what parts of Florida are doing well, what parts of Florida are doing okay. So I can only give you my experience in that we have a team available in many areas of in Florida. We have done many transactions. I personally have done a number of transactions for my personal portfolio. I just about to close escrow on one of the rental property I purchased in Central Florida, Ocala, by the way. Not that you need to know. So, but we've been promoting to our out-of-state investors, mainly from California. Of course, I help investors from all over the country to buy out-of-state properties, not only in Florida, but in many areas of South and Southeast and in the Midwest. But Florida is my number one market, in my personal opinion, for the reasons I just told you throughout this video presentation. So the area that we are concentrating on with our team to help out-of-state investors that we are representing are in Cape Coral, Southwest Florida, and let me see where else. We are also working on not Miami, not South Florida, because those markets are too expensive. The number is not working. Ocala, yes, Central Florida, and our north of Orlando, Ocala, we have on the ground representation to help our out-of-state investors to buy investment homes. Obviously, Orlando, Kissimmee, we've been selling investment homes for the past 20 years, actually. So suffice to say, we have a pulse on the market. We have teams on the ground in various areas of Florida that can help our out-of-state investors to buy cash flow properties for years, for years and for years to come. We have some. Sabine, we are, the market is up and coming, very low price. And Tampa, yes, we have team that are located in those areas, and the villages, which is very close to Ocala. So about 5 of the locations we just mentioned, we are actively helping our investors to buy an investment home that can cash flow at 25% down payment, even at a 7% mortgage rate. Yeah, cash flow is not that high right now, but you have to look into the future. So the future cash flow will be a lot higher than it is right now. So that's the reality. So just go over the closed sales. So we mentioned 20,000 closed sales year to date in the entire state of Florida. As you can see, year to date change appreciation rate, which is mind-boggling, right? The historical annual appreciation rate is anywhere from like 3 to 5% on the average over many, many years. But the last few years in Florida, has been just absolutely insane, mind-boggling. It's a head scratcher how home prices have skyrocketed so much. If you pick some spots like Cape Coral, we are heavily representing Cape Coral, Southwest Florida. Even with the Hurricane Ian just swept across Cape Coral, it has slightly slowed down the market activities as the region has beginning trying to recover, but the market is still very healthy in Cape Coral. So we're seeing a lot of great, good positive trends going on in Cape Coral, and so our investors are pulling the trigger in this Cape Coral Fort Myers market in the Gulf, Southwest Florida, where the homes average around 434,000. And although, as you can see, year over year sales has decreased for obvious reasons because of the higher interest rate or what have you, but and we have not seen very, very little price reductions in many of the markets. 5% price reduction in some markets in Florida are pretty much average. Is beyond 5% reduction, I have not seen it. Not that it's not going to happen, but all over Florida, especially the lower cost markets are really doing well. Suburban growth, that's what's happening. Suburban, you buy in the suburbs, the major metros in Florida. So see all the double-digit increases year over year from 2021 to 2022. I'm not going to go over that. You can when you watch this video, you can pause the screen, take a look at yourself. All the data looks very, very favorable. But I can say one thing: median sales price. Just going to show you some areas of Florida are truly expensive. Let me share. In fact, let's go to median sales price on from a market-to-market basis in Florida. So I can give you some of my opinion. So Cape Coral median price is $425. Yeah, that's decent. And areas that we have market representation. So so 400K, that's pretty medium-sized average of a good market in Florida. And then you have Jacksonville. Jacksonville is good. In the northeast corner of Florida, the median price is $390. It's going very, very good. Lakeland, Winter Haven, right in 30 miles west of Orlando Metro. The prices that increase. The median price is $341. It's pretty moderate, so that's good. Miami is a very expensive market. It says the median price is $560. You and I know that in Miami Beach and the surrounding area in Fort Lauderdale, you have multi-million-dollar condos, like $5 to $10 million. Single-family homes are $1 million. So it's by neighborhood median price is relatively low in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach. Depends on what street, what neighborhood. But 560 median price is relatively low because this Miami, South Florida is just prices are just skyrocketing to this day because once again you have a lot of cash buyers, you have a lot of investors from overseas, you have Wall Street institutions that continue to target single-family homes to buy in bulk and rent and what have you. Although their market penetration has kind of subsided based on the market slowdown in the past 6 months. Sarasota, Northport is quite expensive, 544. Very upscale. So very hard for mom and pop investors to buy into this market. And look at Naples. Naples, like 45 minutes below Cape Coral. Look at the median price of Naples, Florida, in the Gulf Coast below Cape Coral. $800,000 median price, which is, so we're talking, very wealthy, very upscale retirees and investors are buying into Naples to live. I mean, we're talking multi-million-dollar homes to live in Naples. So this market in Naples is inland, is not on the coastal area where the Hurricane Ian pretty much hit the Fort Myers Beach by the coastal areas, and Sunnyvale Island. A lot of homes were destroyed in that area. But if you go inland, 20, 30 miles inland of the Cape Coral, Southwest Florida area, there have not been mass devastation at all. Very, very minor hit in terms of the infrastructure. Northport, the Southwest Florida. I mean, Northport is part of Naples. Northport and Cape Coral is part of the Southwest Florida, which is massively growing. So Northport is 544. Yep, it's just housing prices continue to skyrocket in the Gulf Coast, Southwest Florida area region, and Tampa, of course. Orlando, we've been in this market for many, many years. Median price 425, still pretty affordable for the most part. Palm Bay, yes, we have investors going to Palm Bay, which are like 30 miles east of Orlando Metro, and the median price is only 361K. Is part of the Space Force, very fast growing Palm Bay, Cape Canaveral, Cape Kennedy area, up by the Atlantic coast, close to Orlando. So growing extremely fast. Palm Bay, we've been promoting new construction homes in Palm Bay for a few years now. So we're doing very well. So yeah, Tampa, of course. Tampa is part of the Central Florida metro, growing extremely fast, especially during the pandemic. So in the villages, we have 50,000 retirees in villages, very upscale retirees. People from all over the country flock to the villages, the largest retirement destination in the country. The villages is like 1 hour north of Orlando Metro, doing very, very well. Anything else? I'm not gonna go to condos and townhouses. But I think that's it. Okay, this video, I gave you so much data. So look, when you watch the video, watch the beginning to the end. Just pause on some of the screenshots and just digest some of the data. So we have seen a little bit of slowdown in Florida market, just like many other part of the country. So this is my recap. My takeaway is Florida, because of the future is so good, job growth, population growth. We have investors, our investors are continue to pull the trigger in this market. Cash flow is not that high because of the skyrocketing of housing prices, but the rent is catching up. We have skyrocketing triple-digit rental increases in many of the Florida markets. It's really pushing out a lot of locals. I hate to say this, a lot of locals that live in Florida over many years, they are being pushed out by people coming into Florida for various reasons. Okay, so that's it. All right, so that's all. Anyway, so if you see a lot of value from the video, please smash the like button and also subscribe to my YouTube channel. And of course, we on a weekly basis, I share with you real-time important real estate information for primary home buyers and for potential real estate investors out there. So, and finally, if you want to, below my video, you can sign up for our free investor newsletter. Put your email on and sign up so you can receive free risk information on a weekly basis. So potentially you could become a good real estate investor, especially for newbies out there that are a very good system to help you. We have the resources to help you to become a very highly successful real estate investor, regardless of where you live in the country. You can live anywhere in the country. You can still are able to buy these great cash flow properties at a very, very affordable and fastest growing market in the country. So this video is longer than I would like to take, but there's so much great data to show this kind of data with the Florida Association of Realtor. I'm going to give you some maybe not month-to-month update, maybe once every 2 months. I will reference this website, Florida Association of Realtors. They got some great data. So without further ado, thank you so much for listening, and I will see you on the next video very, very shortly. So thank you so much. Good to see you, Wen Yi. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.